6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back to Indiethon, ladies and gentlemen. We've got here for you a fantastic run of Yooka Laylee, performed by Hedwig. Take it away, my friend.
I will. Thank you so much for announcing me. Hello everyone, hello Indiethon, I'm really glad to be part of this. I even got up at 2:30 a.m. for it, so you guys better make it worth my while by getting in all those fancy donations. Hey, that was a dab right there, even before the run. You can make me dab more if you want, by donating for the good cause. Anyways, what you're gonna see today from me are both the Yooka Laylee games released so far, but first off, we're gonna play Yooka Laylee 1, so to say. It's a 3D platformer collectathon in the style of the old Banjo-Kazooie games on the N64. And before we talk too much, I guess we're just gonna hop right in, and I'll give a countdown for tech, and we're gonna start the run in 3, 2, 1, go! Woohoo! Here we go. So basically this run is, like any percent in this run is rather short. The category we're running today is called any percent with flight, which is any percent, but there's one exception. We can't skip the flight ability, which we are able to do by now in today's any percent, but today's any percent is only like 10 minutes long and has pretty much no gameplay at all to it. So a lot of people prefer to keep the any percent with flight route around as a category. I would compare it to 16 Star in Super Mario 64. It's like an old any percent route that people liked. It's a fan favorite. It's a good beginner category. So if you're thinking about starting or at least trying out Yooka Laylee speedrunning, this could be a good starting category for you. So we already skipped the intro area. We're gonna skip a cutscene right here in front of the door, where the evil Dr. Quack would be telling us not to enter their premises. The main villain of the game is called Capital B. He's, well, both a capitalist and a bee, and he tries to control all the lands by gathering all the knowledge and stealing all the books, and especially the golden tome or whatever, where those pages are from. And pages are the main collectible, sort of like Jiggies and Banjo-Kazooie. You're gonna see me do a few cross-references to Banjo-Kazooie from time to time. But you can't stop me. Here we're gonna do a little save and quit because it's faster than listening to the pagey talk in its little talk. And yeah, what we're gonna do now is basically we're gonna obtain the roll ability by talking to Trouser again. Trouser is this lovely little snake in, well, trousers. When we talk to him, we're able to obtain new movement abilities. In the overworld, we get them for free. Inside the levels, we have to pay for them with quotes. But for now, we're just gonna be, like, cheap and not pay for them. So, what you're gonna see in a bit is our first lag abuse. Lag abuse is basically a thing we do by changing the game's graphics settings to create a little bit of lag, which can allow us to sort of clip out of bounds in some areas. Like for example here, where we're gonna try and dive further below the surface of the water than usually intended, and with that actually getting out of bounds here, doing a little bit of out of bounds movement, and here we go. We just performed our first out of bounds and skipped worlds 1 and 2 out of 5 that are in this game. So first major sequence break, skipping about 40% of the game. Yeah, that's how fast it goes in Yooka Laylee. I really like that about the game. But we're still gonna enter level 1 later. We're just gonna approach it from a different side. So just rolling through this hub as fast as possible and collecting some pages while we're at it. So for example, this first page that we're gonna collect over here, we're just gonna jump against that wall and trigger and trigger the loading zone that's behind the wall, because it extends a little bit too far through the wall, skipping that entire little labyrinth teleportation puzzle, which is pretty fun. Now coming up is our all community's favorite character called Vendy. She's the vending machine, and she gives us little cool things called tonics. Tonics boost our abilities in some ways or another, like for example this baller tonic allows us to roll for a little bit longer, because it consumes less energy. Rolling is the main form of movement, because it's just like the fastest base movement in the game, except for some abilities that we get later on. Now we also got the glide ability, and we're pretty much set with the basic abilities. We're just gonna do some platforming here and there to collect 3 more pages in this hub area. On that note, we actually only need to collect 12 pages in total over this run, out of like the 145 that are in this game. And we're only gonna ever see worlds 1 and 4 visited, and then we go to the final boss. Because flight ability, as I said, which is required for this category to get, is unlocked by getting 1 pagey in the 4th world of the game. And so we basically collect enough pages to enter the 4th world, then enter the 4th world, get the flight, then do a fancy little out of bounds, and right to the final boss, because we don't actually... Like, we're usually supposed to get 100 pages to reach the final boss. There's like a million different skips to the final boss. We can do it with 0 pages in any percent, we can do it with like 12 pages, as in here, with our flight ability, we can do it with however many pages we like, really. We just need to do different skips to the final boss. So here's our first Grand Tome. Grand Tomes are those fancy books, which are our gates to the actual levels of the game. First one's called Tribal Stack Tropics, in which we're just gonna really run around, collect some quills, which are a currency to then buy some moves off of Trouser, and some pages to then go and get the flight ability later in World 4. So, in case you guys have anything cool to plug right now, like further incentives or anything, now would be a cool time to do that. So, just collecting some quills here. Yeah, I'm a little tired. Please, please excuse me here while I do the sloppy platforming. I'm usually quite good at this game. So we're just basically having to collect 60 quills in here. 60 quills plus the few, as I said, pages that are in this level that are fast to collect. This first one's like a torn up pagey that we need to collect the 3 pieces of. So what I think is actually still up, I'm just gonna try and plug it myself a little. For the next game that I'm running, we have a bid war going on for normal soundtrack versus 8-bit soundtrack, and it's Yooka Laylee and Impossible Air. And I can only say I love both versions of the soundtrack, but both have just their very own little charm to it. So in case you prefer like a modern day 2D platformer soundtrack, you can go for normal, and if you prefer to get reminded of the olden days, go right for that donation and hit it with the incentive for me having to play with the 8-bit soundtrack right after this run. So nearly done collecting the quills, just missed one somewhere, but we can get one back up over here. Gonna talk to Trouser right away and get the 2 moves that we need from him over here. Which are gonna be Slurp Shot and Body Slam. We need both of those to actually get some more pages later on and be able to defeat the final boss of the game. We need Slurp Shot for that, or it would take forever, basically. So we're gonna exit this level right away because we got everything we needed from Proasek Tropics. And we're pretty much on our way just to run through the overworld, collect some more pages, and then enter World 4 to obtain our flight ability. And then we're already on our way to the final boss. So you see, things happen rather fast in this game. So just skip the cutscene right there, because if I didn't skip over it, it would have played. Crazy, right? If you don't skip a cutscene, it plays. Imagine cutscenes doing what they're supposed to. Can't even rely on that today. So, just gonna skip over another cutscene right here. Doing some funky business, getting Waterberry to put out that fire, and head back to the very area we started in, Shipwreck Creek, because two pages actually spawned there after we collected pages from World 1. And we're just gonna get those, and if you put a good eye on the page count, we're already at 8, and those 2 are gonna put us at 10 pages, which are enough to enter World 4, Capital Casino, which I'm talking about all the time. Lol. So collecting that pagey by jumping right in front of that dude. We're supposed to really jump on him, but then he shoots it out and it plays a little bit of a cutscene, so we can just sort of like touch him a little bit while ground pounding right in front of him. And it's still gonna count as jumping on him, but without the negative effect of having to wait for the cutscene to end. So yeah, that's a current patch kind of thing, that if we save and quit we actually spawn here, which I forgot a little bit about. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Yeah, we're actually gonna go through here, come on. Because I don't actually like watching those 2 cutscenes if I had to go back up there. In all the other patches I could have been playing on, and I should have probably been playing on, but it's not too important. I'm not in my own setup right now, I gotta say that to you guys. I'm currently over at a friend's, so I'm really happy I can stream from here. In older versions we would have spawned back at the entrance to the level I just came out of. And that's the thing that happens like once in 200 runs or something, getting stuck in that wall. Hasn't happened to me in, let's say, 2 or 3 years. Yeah, that's a good estimate. Marathon luck, huh? So we're just gonna go right back over to that area where we collected the initial 3 overworld pages in. So Yooka, please go through, thank you. Didn't get stuck this time around. You're doing a good job, Yooka. You can do it. And then when we're there, we're gonna do another lag trick. And you guys are gonna like it because it's another little out of bounds. Yay! We like out of bounds, don't we? So we're gonna go here, jump in that corner, fall down, press pause, and through using the lag trick, we're gonna fall out of bounds right here. Now we're gonna use another lag trick to gain some additional height, because it can also accelerate us a little bit higher into the air. And gonna do some funky out of bounds movement over here. And skip levels 3 and 4 basically to enter this very final area of the game. Around, yeah, basically what you're gonna look at when I go through this door is the very final door of the game where we can go to the final boss, but we can't go there just yet. We don't have the flight ability. Like, we could if we wanted, if we were doing normal any percent, but we're doing any percent with flight. So we're just gonna go to level 4 right now to obtain the flight ability, as I told you earlier. And to enter level 4, we would usually be supposed to have a move called Camo Cloak. Camo Cloak makes us invisible for these security cameras. And since we don't have that and don't want it, we can just do, you guessed it, a lag trick to catapult us a little bit forward and, like, be fast enough for the security cameras not to spot us while we're trying to go for that button. So I'm just gonna do a lag trick and hold forward, and we're right in there. It didn't manage to close early enough for us not to sneak in. And here we are, entering World 4. I'm gonna drink a little bit right now while entering this level, because we're gonna have a little bit of a load. So everyone in chat, stay hydrated and stuff. And awake, because you don't want to miss out on the run that's coming after this and all the rest of the fancy runs in this marathon. So because we don't have Camo Cloak, we can't go through that door because there are security cameras again, but we can just jump on that plant and jump over the security cameras, which is cool. I like to jump on plants. And now what we're gonna do is play 2 quick slot machines, which are actually not luck but skill, unlike in real life. And they have a set cycle, which we can use to quickly finish those. They give us casino tokens, 10 each will give us a pagey. We like pages, and those slot machines are the fastest way to actually get a pagey in here. Here we can do cool little double hit, and right back to the beginning of the level. Oh, actually, we can talk to Wendy here real quick, because Wendy, we can actually equip Super Slam at her, because Super Slam is a really cool ability for us to do more damage to the final boss in some phases faster. So this character, who's very much not the final boss of the game, it's definitely not Capital B, it's possibly a cousin of him or anything, is giving us this 1 pagey in exchange for the 10 tokens. And that means we can exit right out of the level, because, as I said, we need to get exactly 1 pagey in here to trigger Trouser to appear in the overworld and grant us the flight ability if we talk to him. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go right back there, doing some little backwards skip through the overworld, which sounds a little funny, right? Because, you know, initially we skipped World 3 and 4 and the move Camo Cloak, but because we don't have Camo Cloak, we can't actually go back at all. Except we just do some clever falling. Except we just do some clever falling. No, platforming over those ledges up here. That's one of the cool things about Yooka Laylee, in my opinion. If you see a ledge, you can usually jump on it. Like, pretty much nothing is, like, hard-coded to be an invisible wall or anything. If you see it, you can probably jump on it. And that made me have a really great time exploring the game. So, talking to him now, we're getting the flight ability, which is pretty nice, but also very game-breaking. And you're gonna see in a moment why. So first we're gonna clip right under this acid. Because we can. And from here, we're just gonna let us fall a little bit and activate the flight ability. And here we go! We're out of bounds in the main hub. And doing the easiest version of the boss door skip, which would usually need us to have 100 pages to even, like, open the door and get to the elevator, but we can just get to the elevator from behind and activate it from below. Let's go. That's the elevator door skip, as we call it, putting us right into the very final boss. But before we're gonna be able to fight the boss, we have to, obviously, in good old Rare style, perform a little bit of a quiz with Dr. Quack. Who would win in a fight? Incredible capital B, of course. Yooka, the weakling, would never win in a fight. So if I answer those within 4 seconds of them being on screen, I actually can move forward 2 spaces. If I wait for too long, I'll only move 1, and if I answer it wrong, I'll lose a life. If I lose 3 lives, I'd have to reset the quiz. How many have I stolen from Ivory Towers? That is 9. And Capital Casino. So you didn't see any questions which pictures, which is actually perfect RNG and rather rare, actually. Usually when we go into those quizzes, on each question there's like a 30-ish% chance of it being a picture question, and each picture question loses like 4 to 5 seconds just by default per RNG, which is pretty bad for like competitive running, but it exists. We just have to deal with it. It's the same for everyone. A little bit of RNG I guess we have in most speed games. So phase 1, he spawns bees that follow us, we knock him over, we do a little bit of a slam into his crotch, which must be rather painful for him. If we do that 2 times with the Super Slam tonic, which we equipped a little bit earlier, which I was talking about, we can actually get a really easy 2 cycle. Usually we would have to do a very rather precisely timed attack pattern with basic attacks to actually get a 2 cycle, but with Super Slam it's pretty much free. Here's what I was talking about earlier, where we're using the spitting tongue ability thingy, because otherwise we would actually have to roll into him 15 times over here, and now we just have to like shoot him with 15 of those ice balls, which is definitely way faster, because otherwise he would move his positions after every single of the 15 hits, making this phase take like 3 minutes or something. And yeah, with this ability it's rather fast. Phase 2 done, only 2 phases to come. Phase 3 is pretty much free as well, and phase 4, I guess if I feel like it, I can show you a little bit of a swaggy strat in there, which is usually only necessary for any percent because we don't have the flight ability. But it's cool, so I'm gonna show it to you. Because I like you, my chat. I like you. One, 2, 3, and on the 4th he will actually get stuck on the ground. We do a little Super Slam again, and bada boom. Sub phase 1 done. He does like 4 little ground pounds, which we have to attack him on, each with like a different obstacle for us. The second one has him spawn bees that follow us, but we can attack right through the bees. Usually they're supposed to actually be like a shield around us, and us not being able to attack while the bees are around us. But if we do it fast enough, like after we stop moving, we can actually still attack through. And the ground pound goes through the bees anyways, which is pretty cool. Which is another reason why we like the Super Slam ability. So, third hit out of 4. Fourth hit coming up, having both those little shock waves and oh, that I barely still made that hit. So fourth phase coming up. The first 3 hits are actually rather easy, so they're not anything special. I'll do some fancy commentary about. But after that, he still needs to get hit 4 times. And those 4 times have a long history in Yooka Laylee speedrunning, because initially we thought we just need that ability that we got for this run, which is flight, to even be able to hit him. Then we discovered there's a setup with another ability that's a high jump. Then we figured out there's an ability without jumping, and then I accidentally found out that we can actually ride those missiles. So I'm gonna try and do that for the very final hit of the run. So right now I'll start flying in order to lure those Stinger missiles into capital B. So I got 1 hit out of 4. We're coming up on time in about like 30-ish seconds, so prepare for that, please. Third out of 4 hits. And now the magic will happen. We're gonna missile ride. Hey, here we go. And we're gonna use it to just lure it into him. And time! Let's
well done
go.
indeed.
Woohoo! Out of
Very
business. I unlocked an achievement because I'm not playing on my PC. I love that. I guess my friend never beat the game, huh? I guess I'll have a word with him tomorrow.
Suppose so. Alright, fantastic work. Well, I suppose I'll do the best closeouts at the end of your next run. In the interim, I should remind people that there is indeed an incentive for it. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Sure thing. So, Platonic actually had a little patch for Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair eventually, which included an awesome 8-bit version of the soundtrack of the game for all the levels, which we can switch to in the menu of the game. So, if you want me to play the game with the original soundtrack, go ahead and get in some donations with like the incentive for original soundtrack. And if you love that 8-bit music awesomeness, then definitely go ahead and go for that still, because at the start of the run I'll have to select which soundtrack we're playing on.
Wonderful stuff. Yes, chat, get your donations in, decide the fate of our ears. And in the meantime, we'll get set up for the next run. See you in a minute.